Hi, welcome to this channel. In this video you are going to learn the fundamentals of Ubuntu Linux. By the end of the video you will be able to use Ubuntu without any problem. A summary of what you are going to learn in this video. First, the File Explorer. You will learn how to create, edit and read files and folders. Then settings, customizing the user interface and the look of the Ubuntu operating system, and changing the settings to protect it and secure your files, your data, and making Ubuntu yours. After that you will learn how to install and uninstall or remove or delete applications and software. Then you will learn how to browse the internet, which is very important. You will learn the essential commands for the terminal. You know, the Linux operating system is very interesting, fast and easy if you can use the terminal. And finally, the Office applications, which are super important. On Windows you have Microsoft Office, but they are not supported on Linux. But don't worry, I will show you the best alternatives for free. The File Explorer. On Ubuntu you have the Files application. This is the Files application. Click on it to open. Now here you have some categories: home, desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos and trash. If you connected a USB stick or a USB flash drive, it will also come here and you can click and see its content. Now back to the home. Click on documents. Here you can create folders and files. Right click. Here you see new folder. You have also a shortcut to create new folders. So new folder, give it a name. My new folder, for example, create. Now let us use the shortcut Ctrl Shift N. You see a pop-up asks you for the folder name. For example, important docs. Create. Open the new folder. Double click on important docs. You see here you don't have the option to create new file. So how can you create new files? The easiest way is to use the terminal. So click on open in terminal. You get the terminal in this directory or in this folder. So this is how the terminal looks like. Don't worry about it. You can also resize it. To create a new file with any extension that you want, you can simply run this command: nano and the name of your file with the extension. It opened the file inside the terminal itself, which looks kinda complicated for the beginners, but it is super easy. Think of this terminal now as a notepad application. Here you can type anything you want. This is my new file. Now to save your changes, you have here some shortcuts. This character means control. So to write out, press Ctrl and O at the same time, and it asks you file name to write. This is the file name. You can also actually give another name. Hit enter. You see the system created the file and it appeared here. To exit, use Ctrl with X. Ctrl X. And to see the content of a file, to read a file. For the text-based files, you can simply say cat. You don't need to type the whole name. You can just type the few first characters and then it completes automatically. And if you enter, you see it is content. This is my new file. To exit, you can type exit or you can click on this X icon. Another way to read a file or to see its content is to double click on it and it opens in the text editor application like this. And here you can create new files as well using the user interface. My another file, and if you click Ctrl S, it asks you where you want to save it. For example, we want to save it inside the documents, inside the important documents. Here we gave it another name, for example to-dos. Here you can change the character encoding, the line ending, and etc. Click on save. So the same way you can create any file with any extension. Now let us copy and move some files. For example, we want to copy in these two pictures and in this HTML file. Ctrl+C to copy, or you can right click and select it, copy. Then you can come, this is picture, for example, come to the pictures, create new folder, call it my pictures, enter to create the folder, double click to open, Ctrl V to paste, and also right click and click on paste. Copy. Let us paste them here, and imagine we want to move it to somewhere else. Again, select it, cut to cut, or Ctrl X to cut them, and let us bring them to the downloads and paste. This is how you can move files. To view pictures, double click on it, and if you have this image viewer software installed, you can view and see pictures. Otherwise, don't worry, I will show you how to install applications a few minutes later. And to play videos, you need a video player. Once you have installed a video player, you can double click on the video file or on the movie, then it opens in the video player. Now to delete the file, select the file. You can use the delete button on your keyboard. You can also undo if you don't want to delete it, or you can right click and then click on move to trash. It goes inside the trash. You can open the trash and see what is inside the trash, so that you can restore your file. For example, you can select it and then right click, and it gives you the option restore from trash. For example, let us restore this, restore from trash. It moves from here to where it was before, and you see this is now here. And if we go back to the trash and restore also the other one, it also comes back. So this is how you can delete and restore files on Ubuntu. Here you have the search icon that you can search anything that you want. For example, you can give the name and it searches that file. Another option is view options. Based on these conditions or criteria, you can sort the content of a folder. You can grade view, list view, grid view, list view. You can sort by size, by modify. You can store a file, and if you store a file, you go to the start. You see here the files that you have stored. If you click on other locations, here you see your hard drive, the hard drive of your computer. If you click, you see all these folders. This is the biggest difference between Windows operating system and the Linux operating system. Beautiful. Click on the settings icon, or if you don't have the settings here, you can go via the App Center. If you don't have the settings here, the setting will be here. So click on it. This is the settings. The Wi-Fi settings, you can turn on the Wi-Fi. Here if you see your Wi-Fi, you can click on it, give the password, and then click on connected. You will get connected to your Wi-Fi. Then you have other network, wired network. For example, if you have cable network, you can connect it to a VPN. You can create a proxy. Then you have the Bluetooth. You can turn on the Bluetooth and connect it. Now the display, you have the orientation, landscape. You can change it portrait. The resolution, the refresh rate. This depends on the GPU of your computer. In my case, I have two options, 40 and 60. Adjust for TV. If you enable this, it will scale the user interface if you connect it to TV or mirror the screen to TV. Scale, fractional scaling. If the fractional scaling is turned on, you have these options to scale the user interface, to make it bigger or smaller with this percentage. Now I made it 125 to make it more readable for you. If it is disabled and if it is turned off, you have only two options, 100% and 200%. Now sounds, here you can control the sound and the volume, the speakers and the input devices, the microphone. Power settings, this is about the electricity usage and the battery. Power mode, balanced or power saver. Power saving, dim screen, screen blank. Power button behavior is power off. When you click on the power button, it should shut down the computer. It is not necessary to explain everything one by one, because as you see, every option has a very clear description. Appearance, this is the default. If you like dark mode, you can change it to dark. I prefer light. You can also change the color tone. Now you see dark orange. The difference is here. And if you change it to, for example, blue, everything changes to blue. You can select it one of these background pictures, or you can also add a custom or your favorite picture as the background picture. Let us use this one for example, and this is how it looks like. Ubuntu desktop, The desktop icon sizes, you can make it small, normal, large or tiny. And position of new icons, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Where do you want that the icons appear? For example, if you create a new folder or you add a new application, now it is top left. As you see, these two folders are here. If you change it to top right, it will come here, or you can make it bottom left or bottom right. Show home folder. This folder is the home folder, and the dock, this is dock or navigation bar. Auto hide dock, this will make this hide automatically. You can change it to panel mode. See this, or like this, or like this. Icon size, you can make it larger or smaller. Where to show the dock? Primary display, all displays, built-in display. You can change the position of these icons. Now is at the left. You can make it come at the bottom, or you can make it appear at the right. I personally like it on the left side. Configure dock behavior. If you connect it a USB drive or USB stick or external hard drives, they all will also appear here. You can disable it like this. Show trash, this is the trash can. Apps, these are some apps and software. For example, text editor, you see which permissions the application is using. You can open it, you can see its details, but you cannot uninstall it from here. So these are all the applications. You can enable or disable notifications for a specific application. This is some settings for the search, what to search and where to search, and how to filter the searches. Sharing, here you can change the name of your computer. For example, akianus.com. Media sharing, it is best to turn it off or disable it for your security and privacy. Apply the name change. Mouse and touchpad. Primary button for the mouse is left, and the speed. Settings for the touchpad, you can enable or disable the touchpad, the speed, secondary click or scrolling. So here you can control the behavior of the touchpad. Keyboard, you can add a new language for the keyboard. When you click on add input, here you have more. You can select a language and the country or other. When you have selected, click on add, then it will appear here. View keyboard layout. This is how it looks like and how it behaves now. Your virtual keyboard or the keyboard settings should match your physical keyboard, otherwise it is very confusing, you know. You can add a printer if you have a printer at home. accessibility. You can customize the user interface if you have vision problem or hearing problem or typing or pointing and clicking and zoom. You have these options if you need. Now privacy and security. Screen lock, when to turn off the screen. Now in 5 minutes. You can change it to any minute or never. Automatic screen lock, to lock the screen automatically based on this criteria. Screen turns off for now after 1 minute, after 2 minutes, and etc. Lock screen notifications, to do not show sensitive notifications on the login screen. Lock screen is actually login screen. When the screen turns off, now it automatically log you out. This setting is very important for protecting and securing your privacy and your data. System, region and language. Manage installed languages. You can change the language of your computer from here. You can change in the formats. Now it is based on the United States. So here you can select it, a country or a language, and the formats also change based on that country and the language. When you have selected, click on done to apply it. Now I have added these languages and I can select it from these languages to change the language of the computer to these languages. Manage installed languages. Now for this you need internet. Now I am not connected to the internet. To install or remove a language, you can click here, select a language, check the checkbox, and then click on apply, and that will install the language on your computer. Then you can use that language as a language of your computer or as another language for the keyboard. So based on a language and a country, you can select the formats, and you will also see an example of the format. Date and time, automatic date and time. It will automatically adjust the date and time based on the time zone and the country. Time format, clock and calendar, weekday, week numbers. Here you can change the time zone. You can search any city in the world and change the time zone to that city. Some settings are locked. You have to authenticate to unlock the settings. For example, if you want to change your password, or you want to change your name, or you want to change the language, or add another user. So you need to authenticate. Now you can change the password. You have to enter the current password, the new password, confirm the new password, and click on change. This is how you can change your password. You can change the language for this user. For every user you can select a specific language. It's very nice. You can also add a new user. You can give a new name. You can give a name. Let us say, for example, admin. The username is also stays admin. You can make the user administrator. You can set the password now, or you can let the user set a password for his or herself. Is, for example, set a password. So the password now matches. It is still not that strong. click on add. So the preview of the user we are logged in, this user and other users. This is how you can add new users. Remote desktop, allow this device to be used remotely. Secure shell settings for SSH network access, so that you can do stuff using SSH. About some hardware details. You can also see the system details. And if you want to update and see if there is any update for your system, you can click on software updates. It will check if there is any new updates or not to keep your computer up to date. Beautiful. Now installing and removing applications or software. You can install, uninstall or remove applications using the terminal and also the graphical user interface. This App Center application. Click on it to open, and this is how it looks like. Explore. Here you have some applications and you can search a specific application. For example, type this application. LibreOffice Writer is an alternative for Microsoft Word, and this one, LibreOffice Impress, is the alternative for Microsoft PowerPoint, and this one, LibreOffice Calc, is the alternative for Microsoft Excel. See all results for LibreOffice. Change it to Debian packages. You see, this is how it looks like. Click on install. So it is going to take a while to install it. Beautiful, it is installed. The same way we can install this one. Impress is a presentation program and part of the LibreOffice productivity suite. Beautiful. And the same way you can install any of these Office applications if you need. Calc is a powerful and extensible spreadsheet program. Beautiful. Now if you go to the apps, so these are the Office applications. We will come back to this later again. When you don't need an application anymore and you want to remove it, you can come to manage, and here you will see all the applications that you have installed. You can click on the application, and here you have the option to also uninstall. When you click on uninstall, you need to authenticate. Now wait for it. Beautiful. This application is uninstalled and it is not among the apps and software. So this is how you can install and uninstall applications and software using the App Center graphical user interface. You can also install and uninstall or remove applications using the terminal. Open in terminal. So to install applications using the command line or the terminal, you need to enter sudo. Sudo is a keyword. This is a way for the system, for the computer, to know whether the person who runs this command has the privilege or the permission to run this task or not. For example, you want to remove application, you want to add application or install application. When you enter sudo, then it also asks you the password for the administrator. So sudo apt install and the name of the application. It can be any application that you want. For example, an email application called Giri. Now you need to enter the administrator password. Enter. It is very important when you enter the password you don't see anything, but it does not mean that you did not enter anything. Just enter the password correctly and hit enter. Do you want to continue? Yes. Very nice, it is installed. Let us check. Now you see Giri, and let us uninstall this application. Again sudo. You can clear the terminal. To clear the terminal, type clear, and it clears. Now it is beautiful. Sudo apt remove and the name of the application, Giri. Again, important, after you remove, also call purge, sudo apt purge Giri, to actually remove also the junk files of the application or the software. And also apt auto remove. So this is how you can install and uninstall applications using the terminal. This is important to know because there are many useful and helpful packages that you cannot find inside the App Center, and they only can be installed using the terminal. Now let us learn how to browse the internet. Here I have Firefox installed by default. This is also a browser like Chrome, Safari and other browsers. Click to open. Type google.com. Here you can log into your Gmail. If you are using Gmail, you can sign in to Google to have access to all Google services and products. You have also the Chrome, so you can download Chrome. You can accept and install. If you go to the downloads, here you have it. Double click. Now this is potentially unsafe, but click on install anyway. Authenticate. This is not the normal approach for installing an application from the internet. Normally, when you want to install an application from the internet, you download the source code. This is the source, and you use the terminal to unzip it or unpack it and then install from the source. But now for you it will be too advanced to go so deep in the terminal, so that's why we have to double click on the source code. it jumps to the App Center, and then we click on install, and it installs after a few clicks and authentication. Very nice. Now if you go to the App Center, Google Chrome is here. Click on it. Okay, not now. So this is Google Chrome. You can again log in to your Gmail, and here you have other Google products and services that you can sign in and use. Most importantly, Gmail, and here you can search anything you like. Aquianus, for example. This is aquianus.com. Consent. Visit aquianus.com for free, useful and helpful online applications, mobile applications, and courses and tutorials. So this is how you can simply browse the internet on Ubuntu. You can also customize the settings here for yourself. The default search engine for Firefox is now Google. If you type anything, you will see Google page. Now let us learn the essential commands for the terminal. Open the terminal in the home directory. Open in terminal. Now we are in the home directory. You know this also by this character. Sometimes it is very important to know the exact directory where you are in the terminal. So to find that out, you can run pwd. This shows the current directory or the current folder. So you are inside the home and your username. To list all files in a folder or to see the content of a folder, you can run ls. To see all the folders with details and the hidden files and folders, you can run ls -la. Now it shows all the directories, even the hidden ones. Here you see the permissions, the username, the group name, the date and time. And to clear the terminal, you can just run clear. To jump from one folder to another folder or to change the directory or the folder, you can run cd and the name or the full path of the directory that you want to move to. For example, we want to move to the documents. Now we are inside the documents folder. Here we have our folders that we created previously. To go one folder back or to go one level up, you can just run cd ... The system used this for the space. If there is a space in the name of the directory or the file, but if you want to change to a directory that any folder in the path has a space in the name, you should wrap it in quotes. For example, let us go back. Like this. Because space has a special meaning in the terminal commands, it can be very misleading. If you have a space in the name of the folder or in the name of the file, wrap it in codes so that the system knows what to do. Otherwise it will misunderstand it as separate commands and you will get error. To make a new folder, run mkdir. Here you can specify where to create the new folder with the name that you provide. If you create a new folder in the directory where you are now, you don't need to give the path, just the name. For example, new folder terminal, and let us see. Here you see new folder terminal. To remove an empty folder, you can just rm-dir and the name. You see here / and backslash. Backslash with space means that it is a space. You have also dir to see the content of the file, and also ls. ls is very advanced. It has many other parameters or arguments that you can give to see more details and more information. You saw how to create a file using the nano command, but you also have vim and the name of the file. It opens an advanced editor in the terminal. Nano is a simple editor in the terminal, but vim is an advanced editor in the terminal. To delete folders recursively, run rm-r and the name of the folder or directory. To copy a file or a folder, you have the command cp, the first path and the path where you want to copy to. For example, if I want to copy a file from here I have two files with very bad names. Let us change the name of this one. To change the name of a file or a folder, you can run the move command. mv is the move command. Move 7.1.12 and it completes automatically. We want to change its name to 7.12 and with the extension. Now if you see again, it is renamed this file from this directory. So here we give only the file name. When you give only the file name, it means that it is in the current directory. Now if you go here, now the picture is copied to this directory. And move is the same. Move path1, path of the file that you want to move, and path of the directory that you want to move to. Another useful command is find. If you want to find a file, find give the path or the directory where you want to search for and the file name that you want to search for. Name, here you give the file name. For example, we are going to search the entire home directory. So this is how you give a parameter. Sometimes you have to specify what it is, and it should be in the command or in the package, or the package must support it. We want to know where this file is. So we have this file in the pictures and we have it also inside the downloads. Another useful command is grep. Grep is when you want to search inside the files. You see, it found the file inside this todos.txt file. When it finds something, it shows the entire content, the whole file. You can also search recursively. by saying R for recursively. Here give your text, for example again file, and in all directories. Okay, it found a file in so many places. Clear only inside the documents. So we have the file text or word inside these two files. When you give -r, it says all the directories or all the folders inside the specified directory. To update the packages, which is very important, you should run this regularly, at least a few times every month. To update the packages, run sudo apt update. It updates all the packages on the system. It is very important for the security. If any package has a major change, it will ask you to not update but upgrade. You run upgrade. And to install a package, we have used that previously. You use sudo apt install. To remove, you also saw how to remove a package or a software or application. Sudo apt remove and the name of the package. For this you must give a name. You can also search if a package or a software exists or not. Search the name of the package. To see the disk usage, df-h, it shows the file system, the drive. This is the drive, the size, the used, available, and in percent. So this one has 114 gigabyte. 14 gigabyte is used and this much is available. G is gigabyte, M is megabyte, K is kilobyte. And to see RAM usage, run free-h. A 16 gigabyte RAM is shown like 15 gigabyte. To see your system info, just run uname -a, gives your system info. To change the permissions of a file or a directory, you can run chmod. Permissions have codes. 7 means that the user or the group can execute, edit, modify, write and read the file or the folder, or has the permission to access, execute, modify and see the content of the file. Then 6 is writing or creating new files, modifying the existing files and seeing the content, but not executing. 5 means only seeing the content, but the user or the group does not have the permission to create new files in that directory or edit the file or modify the file, but only is allowed to see the content. When you set permission or you change the permission, you specify the owner, the group and others and anyone else or other users. The first one is the owner. You set permission for the owner. For example, the owner should have all the permissions, and the group should have all the permissions except not allowed to execute, and others can only see the content but not modify. Here comes the name or the full path with the name or only the directory. To change the ownership of a file or a directory, you can run chown, the username and the group name, then the name of the file or directory. To get more information or help about a command, you can type man and the name of the command. For example, this. So it gives you more details and more information. Press H for more help or Q to quit. You see, you find all the information you need to use the command properly. Another way to see information or help about a command is the command name. This time this -help. Finally, if you run a command and it keeps running and it does not stop, you can use Control C. Control C, it breaks the process and it stops the command from running. Now the final part, how to get Office application or Office software on Ubuntu Linux. We have talked previously about LibreOffice and we have installed LibreOffice. So this is an alternative for Microsoft PowerPoint. This is free. So the first option for Office software is LibreOffice that you can install on your computer. The second option is Google Drive. If you log into Google Drive, you will have access to all these applications and software. You have Docs. This is an alternative for Microsoft Word. You have Sheets. It is an alternative for Microsoft Excel, and Slides, an alternative for Microsoft PowerPoint. The third alternative solution for Microsoft Office software is OneDrive. If you go to onedrive.live.com/login, here you can log in or create an account, a free account from Microsoft, or you can even create an account with your current email address. So here on OneDrive you have all these applications. You have PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams, To Do, Family, and whatever. So in OneDrive you have access to all these applications for free. The biggest difference between Google Drive and OneDrive is that Google Drive gives you 15 gigabytes of free space and OneDrive gives you 5 gigabytes of free space. But you can download or delete the files you don't need, and then you have always free space, That's it, guys. I hope it was useful. Thanks for watching. If anything was not clear, write in the comments and I will answer as soon as possible. We have published many useful, helpful courses, tutorials, tips and tricks that can help you with your career, with your studies and with your everyday life. So check out our channel and watch also our other videos. Take care and have a wonderful time.